I'm feeling like I'm being through it all. Still I write through the pain. From the rise to the fall, they say I'd never be the same. But who's to blame for?
I was just always heavily into beats, you know, just heavily into the sounds. I used to dissect the sounds in my head and wonder where the samples came from, wonder where those drums came from. So instead of listening to the whole song in general, I just eliminated the lyrics from my head and I just always analyzed the beat. I fell in love with being on stage when I got pulled on stage at the Game concert in 2005. I was holding up a hoodie. It was called the Black Wall Street hoodie, and that's the hood that the Game is from in Compton. My buddy Timmy was like, hold it over the rail so we could see it, because we were front row. And I legit held it over. Not even the first song he came out, he stopped the whole concert, was like, yo, bring him up here. And I went up, and it was just a magical feeling because I was just surrounded by that light, you know, the lights and the people, the all eyes on you, and I felt like a superstar. Being like 14 years old, it's like a dream. It's probably a moment that I'll never forget in my life because it defined my future, you know.
In a world full of hate, all I wanna feel is a little bit of love. I ain't really asking for too much, I just wanna feel like I'm enough. Cause lately I've been feeling heartless, still I've been smiling through all of the darkness. The pleasure, the pain, the money, the fame, sometimes it's harder for me to let go.
I was the youngest of 4 brothers, so it was just, I felt like I always wanted to be in their shoes and be just like them, and unfortunately they weren't the greatest role models at the time, you know, and I was getting myself into some like every teenager experiments with drugs, alcohol. I was the same way. But I was just somebody that was out of hand and could never be controlled. You know, my parents couldn't control me. I wouldn't listen to nobody, and that ultimately, you know, resulted in me being sent away, which, you know, was a traumatic experience in my life. But I chose to write as my therapy, and that was pretty much my therapist, because, you know, all I had was myself in that moment, so I utilized it the best and only way I could. It's crazy because I've wrote 2 of the greatest songs I think that I've made in a long time. I'm a gift from the Creator because not every Indigenous artist has this opportunity to do what I do. You know, it's a blessing itself. So I just speak heavily on the struggles and adversities we had to overcome as a people, just who we are and what we stand for. So it's important for me to advocate for that, you know.
I ain't religious, I'm indigenous. If only you could see what the vision is. I visualize life from a broad point of view. I was brought up to prove that we got so much to lose. Look at everything we've been through. Trying to colonize people that were here since day one. No, I ain't racist, I'm just stating the facts for future reference. We ain't forgetting the past. All they see is the money. What we're lacking is stacks forced on reservations. Like here, build on that. But all this land, you ain't getting it back. We'll build the pipeline right through it. Suppressed for hundreds of years through all the blood, sweat, and tears. Fighting for what's right with a fist in the air. We still here. I'm just a voice of my generation. Light skin, but in my heart, First Nation. My mind, body, and soul embrace the soul. My sole purpose in this world is to get it on my own. In the process, make it known where I came from. Without these people, this would never be done. My bloodline runs deep. You're strong and resilient. Look at the Prime Minister, you can see who the villain is. I can't be defined by stereotypes, but looking at my rights, like am I reading them right? Labeled as alcoholics, whatever you wanna call it. No hope for the hopeless, just look at where it started. Genocide, students of residential, slaves of ourselves looking past our potential. This is history you can't ignore. Discriminated for so long, racism still alive. Damn. What a world we live in. I'm just a man on a mission that's trying to make a difference. Yeah, Toronto, I'm just a man on a mission that's trying to make a difference. Yeah, I'm just living for the moment. I'm praying that they listen. One more time. I'm just a man on a mission that's trying to make a difference. Yeah, I'm just living for this moment. I'm praying that you listen.